Alrighty, guys. That's not the one you need to see, right? You need to see the one that says starting soon. I have to make sure the mic is right next to my mouth. Otherwise, how are you to hear me? Okay, I think it's close enough, though. Alright, really, this is what you came for, right? To see the star traction. Mr. Famous. No, I'm just kidding. Not that famous, but that's a good thing, you know? You don't want to be recognized everywhere you go, right? We don't have to beat people back or following you around and chasing you down. I guess Fame is a song by David Bowie. Only I can remember a lyric. Fame makes things shallow. I think that's what he says. But yeah, we get by though. We get by. Okay, you can't see. Hold on. Okay, continue. Recipe for turnabout. We have another day of trials. January 8th, 1:21 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 1. So we're finally going to see the tiger on the stand. We almost got this case won now, Nick. I wish I could agree. I think there was just so much far-fetchedness in the last episode, like... Really, Phoenix, you think they staged everything? Wow, how did they do that without Maggie Bird noticing? But as, you know, as the explanations went on and on, like, it started to make more sense. Like, Maggie was unconscious. She was conveniently unconscious just long enough for her body to be buried in the kitchen. Yeah, right? And I cross-examined Mr. Armstrong just now. He said he was just doing what the tiger told him to do. I mean, how do we know that he... The question I have is, how did Victor Kudo mistake Maggie for Violet? Because that's what happened, right? That's what had to have happened. How do you mistake this person for this? They don't even have the same hair color. Number one, right? Number two, Maggie doesn't have a bandage around her head. I don't know how any sane person would confuse these two. Maggie has a bow on her head. Violet doesn't. Sorry, Viola. Not Violet, Viola. This is who Victor saw, though. Based on the revelations in the previous episode and what we learned about. So why is Victor so adamant that it's Maggie he saw? Because it wouldn't have been Maggie, right? It wouldn't have been. And then he would have seen Maggie again on the witness stand. He would have known that it's not the same person. He would have had to have known. How could he not have known? Even from the back, bro. Even from the back, they don't look the same. He's saying he didn't see her face. But again, how even that, like, how would you not know? How did you miss the bandages? You could still see those from behind. Not only that, but they have different hairstyles and everything. Even from behind, you would have been easily able to tell they're different people. That's the one thing that does not make sense about Phoenix's theory from last episode, is Victor Kudo's testimony. You know, picked up, I remember. He pointed out that without proof, we don't know if what he testified is the truth. There's hardly any proof of what Phoenix was proposing, though. I think Mr. Armstrong was lying. He was definitely lying. He said there's only 2 people in the restaurant. So we know he was telling a story. Because there would have had to have been more than 2. Right, there was... I mean, we don't even know if Glenn Elg was killed in the restaurant, right? We don't even know that. They could have brought the body in. It's so confusing, right? Like, originally it's the Tiger and Glen Elg. Tiger kills Glen Elg, arranges for Armstrong to hide the body. Maggie faints, presumably about this time, and then her body's taken to the kitchen. And then Tiger comes back, or maybe it's just Viola at that point. Yeah, I guess technically Tiger wouldn't have had to come back at that point. It could have just been Viola serving as the waitress. And that's around the time Victor Kudo came in, as well as the fake Glen Elg. Something that still doesn't make sense to me, though, is, again, how would they know that Maggie would faint? How would they know that? They would have had no way of knowing. And why would they need to recreate the incident for Victor? Technically, the crime wouldn't have been reported, right? It wouldn't have been reported because Armstrong was the only witness and Maggie. I don't know, it depends a lot on what Maggie could remember, too. Because Maggie can only remember there being two guys and they were sitting together. So that helps to explain why she didn't see or remember Victor Kudo. But Maggie should have called attention to that, like, I didn't see Victor Kudo, so how does he have testimony? That's something she should have been saying both in the previous trial and this trial. Mr. Armstrong was lying, of course he was. I mean, we didn't even know about him hiding the bodies. If that's the line the prosecution takes, we could be in trouble. Get the feeling that we don't have the case making evidence we're going to. Hey, pal, obviously, Gumshoe. Detective Gumshoe! What are you so jumpy about, Detective? Your hair is standing on end. That's a pot called Kettle Black, Miss Topknot. It's a Topknot. Never mind about the hair. Just calm down, alright? Oh, that's Phoenix, sorry. Never mind about the hair. Just calm down. Can't stand still when I don't have a job to do. I can't get wound up. No kidding. Gotta have something you need me to do, pal. Anything. Find something that incriminates Armstrong and or Tiger. I'm gonna take a jog down to the precinct. I can get some print satellites for you if you got an hour. An hour? The trial will have reconvened by then. But Nick, we still don't have a really decisive piece of evidence, right? True. Without some kind of trump card to pull out of the bag, we're really stuck. Then you could get some fingerprint analysis done in an hour. You bet. In that case, would you mind checking the prints on this for me? Obviously the unidentified ones. Yeah, the bottle. Correct. I believe that's the only thing with unidentified prints, right?
Take that!
If you're going back to the station, could you find out whose prints are on this? Oh wait, that's the small bottle I gave back to you this morning, right? Why didn't you run that for fingerprints before? I think it's time we solved the mystery of who the prints belong to. Sure thing, pal. Actually, that's been done every two. Technically, Glen Elg's fingerprints would have had to have been on there, right? It was his medicine. So, I would not be surprised if his fingerprints turned back up on it. Technically, it could have fallen out of his pocket after his body was dragged into the kitchen. That's possible. It fell out of his pocket. Get up, you talk to that right away. She knows these kids before I get back. They had to blame Maggie because Maggie saw everything, but Maggie would know too that she wasn't the murderer. She would know that. Why didn't she testify to that? I didn't put anything in the coffee. You know, right there is one major glaring contradiction between her testimony and Victor Kudo's. Wouldn't that alone raise questions in any reasonable person's mind as to her guilt? I think so. I think it would. She would not be able to be convicted beyond reasonable doubt in any court, just based on her testimony. So where was her testimony? I don't know. Like, there'd definitely be reasonable doubts about that. Like, she didn't... Something else that doesn't make sense whatsoever is... This also should have had... Okay, yeah, it says covered in the victim and Maggie's fingerprints. Okay. Coffee contained potassium cyanide. And the question I've been asking this entire time is, how do they know Maggie put that in there? There's really no way that anyone has known that. Kudo's testifying that he says he saw the waitress put something in the coffee. But again, he doesn't even know that that was Maggie. So why would he testify to that in court? No. He doesn't know it was poison, and he doesn't know for sure it was Maggie because he didn't see her face. We know that much. I was gonna say this. How did Maggie's fingerprints get on this? This is probably the most suspect piece of evidence. Because yeah, number one, how did Maggie's fingerprints get on it? And how did it find its way into her pocket? That's probably the most important question. Like, how did that happen? Unless she absentmindedly added the poison to the coffee. Which I guess is true. Possible, but she's a waitress there, how would she make that mistake? Especially if, like, the question is who poisoned him? Was it Tiger or was it Maggie? And if it was Maggie, again, wouldn't she have testified something to the effect of I added sugar to his coffee? If it wasn't her, why are Tiger's fingerprints not on the potassium cyanide? That strongly implies that Tiger was not the one who poisoned him. That's what it implies. It implies that it was Maggie who poisoned him. Knowingly or unknowingly, she poisoned him. Well, let's just, yeah, get this over with. Oh, showdown. We still have one more trial before the game is finished. Time to separate the phonies from the real guys. January 8th, 1:56 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. We'll now reconvene. Mr. Godot, did you find this Stereo Tigre? I even tamed him for you. It was a 3-cup job, no problem. He was arrested at the end of the previous investigation, as you might recall. Godot was there. He took back the contract. The guy's name may be Furio Tigre, but come on. He's pretty light. Careful, he still bites. Very well, please show Mr. Tigre to the stand. How does the judge... Yeah, that's the question too. How does the judge not remember that's who represented Maggie in the previous trial? That's got to be awkward for the judge, right? Like, how do you not remember seeing this guy in court already? I don't know. Let's just pretend like the game logic makes some sense. For a second. Don't hide under the table, why? Unless there's room for me down there too. What you say to me? Nothing. I didn't say nothing. Honest. This guy is such a pushover too, like, even without him having his head so far up in the clouds, like, he still allows himself to be pushed around by, like, the witnesses, what do they call them? The people who are accused. Suspects. suspects push him around, the prosecutors push him around. Like, get a new job, dude. Like, this is clearly not your line of work. I think anyone would be a better judge than him. You can't even recognize attorneys. Like, I mean, come on. You could have guessed that Fury would induce a bad Brooklyn accent in the judge. I got business to take care of, you hear me? So who the hell came into this hole? Called me into this hole. Was it you, Spiky? Heck, no, of course not. It was the judge. Your Honor? Actually, it was Godot. I assume you dropped my pen. What on earth is it? Don't mind me, just carry on with the proceedings as normal. That's it, originally. If you didn't hear me, I said, who the hell was it that called me in here? There's no need to shout. We can all hear you. What you say? There's no point struggling. You're caught in a snare. The relentless snare of the law. Thank you for the Godot thing. Thank you for that. Again, this is the best theme in the game. Victor Kudos is okay, but this one's the best. Drink your coffee, Godot, and revel in your amazing game. I'm the one that hauled you in. Grr. Too cool. Don't let him get the better of you, Nick. Start with the basics. You know about the incident in question, correct? Incident? I don't know nothing about no stinking incident, mask boy. You mean you didn't attend the previous trial of Maggie Bird? Night who? I've got more important things to do than watch courtroom dramas. Again, yes, it was him. I don't even know how he came to represent Maggie in that case. Even that is just such a head scratcher. You're like, what? No, we lost Godot's theme. Like, that could just keep playing throughout the entire episode. Of course, well, perhaps you could give us your testimony then. Please tell us about what you did on the day of the murder. It's right. My Brooklyn accent needs work, admittedly. You was the one who set this up, didn't you? You was gonna regret the day you ruffled the tiger's fur. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I should have brought a diaper with me today. Get a grip, Nick. Tiger's alibi. I know nothing about no murder. I started with business in December last year. Spent all my time in my office. Got whales lined up to borrow cash from Ted or letter every single day. You want to check my alibi? Just ask Violetta. Yeah, see, her name is Violetta. Lost, I found my pen. Very well done. What is it? Please, witness, if you could refrain from shouting out like that. Know the kind of games that guy in the blue plays. That lowlife ain't no lawyer. Punches away at stupid details till he wins. Lowlife, man? Listen up, smarty. Every time you ask something that doesn't relate to this case, I'm gonna bill you $50,000 and he's gonna borrow the cash from me. That's one loan contract I signed. Don't think it ain't gonna hurt when you hang with the tiger. Oh, I love good spectator. Just a minute, that's really not. This witness is, how can I put it, a hungry tiger roaming the urban jungle. On his bad side and he'll bite everyone's heads off. Here's two. This is the most ridiculous looking character. I mean, there have been a lot of absolutely strange characters, including the fake doctor in Justice for All. I mean, he comes to mind, but this is definitely one of the more bizarre characters. This is very strange, in a game of strange and eccentric characters. Very well, I have no choice but to impose a penalty system here. Again, judge easily pushed around, easily persuaded. You better be listening. I said I got business to take care of, big business. Amazing anyone gets sentenced in this courtroom. If I don't get split now, I ain't gonna catch my bus. Court won't impose a penalty for any irrelevant pressing of witness testimony. Keep that in mind as you begin your cross-examination right. Yes, Your Honor. You can do it, Nick. Come out from under there already, would you, man? I can't press all the statements. What? Alright, let's just use our little insurance. Yeah. Alright, apparently Trials and Tribulations is a rap song. I did not know that. So don't press 1, 3, or 4. I had to press the second statement. See, I can cheat too, Tiger. Are you sure about that? We're talking about 1 month ago. You see these teeth? That's how sharp my secretary is. Sharp? You're talking about Viola Cadaverni. Also Viola for some reason. Writes everything in my schedule. Yeah, but mainly in the office. What it says, so that's where I write. Seems like a rather sketchy schedule. There he goes again. What did Tiger call December? Isn't the issue. What he did all December isn't the issue. What's important is what he's doing on the date of murder. So now what? Press further. Mr. Tigre, what you want? He's not scary at all. Like, come on, get it together, guys. Jeez Louise. You don't mind going into a bit more detail. Objection. This is a dead end, right? You know it. Remember the rules. Objection! No. Essential that we establish the witness's alibi accurately. And I also want to know why the lawyer isn't allowed to do his job. Like, come on now. I agree. I mean, I know this is like supposed to be a game, it's supposed to be a cartoon, it's supposed to be funny, but I mean, sometimes the lengths that this game goes to for a laugh are, I think, a bit bordering on the absurd, inane. Like, really? The victim was killed on December 3rd. Were you in the office that day too? Maybe you ain't listening. Of course I was. Never set foot outside. Had meetings all day with a bunch of cats wanting to do business with me. I ain't never seen that young kid before. I do believe the witness's last statement was important. Mr. Godot, if you could please. Mr. Tigre, the court asks you to add that last statement to your testimony. Don't let an animal beat you, be a man, Your Honor, and ask him yourself. The day he was talking about, I was in the office too. Never saw that kid before. So I gotta press this, right? If I get, like, penalized, I'm gonna go bananas. I'm actually gonna go bananas. Glenn's calendar on statement. Why would he meet with Glenn? Glenn didn't have business with Tender Lender, as you might recall. So why would he want to meet with Tigre? I mean, I guess the game would say his gambling debts, right? Those tickets that he had to take out a loan to pay them off or something. Even though we don't have that evidence anymore, apparently. The days he's talking about... Yeah. Where is it? The calendar.
Objection!
Objection! Mr. Tigre, you claim you didn't know Mr. Glenn Elg, but it appears that Mr. Elg knew you. What? Mr. Elg left this little note on his calendar. See? Meet with Tiger, and the date? December 3rd. December 3rd? That's the day of the murder. So, Mr. Tigre, I submit that you did indeed know one Mr. Glenn Elg. Because on the very day of the incident, you met with him. Yeah, what now, Tiger? What now? Not bad. He's actually not bad. Just messing with you. See how good you were. That's called perjury. Judge, throw the book at him. Do something, please, for a change and throw the book at him. You hear that, Nick? He said you're not bad. That's one compliment I could do without. Please. He's lying through his teeth. Witness, please remember that you're under oath. Lies will not be tolerated. So what are you going to do about it? Are you going to do your job? Or are you just going to, you know, back down like you always do? He's calling me a liar. Is that what you're doing? What role? And now he's acting like Scooby from Scooby-Doo. I guess it is Scooby-Doo because everyone seems to be trying to solve mysteries. But they're too afraid of monsters that look like clowns. Guys that wear red suits with tigers on the front are somehow scary. Okay. You're claiming that you've never seen that kid before is the truth. I said I'm dead serious. Use blood to believe that's the truth. Again, we don't have actual proof that they met on the 3rd, by the way. That calendar isn't proof that they even met. Saying I plan to meet you at noon at Denny's is not proof that they actually met, by the way. That only indicates what the plan was. Plans always change. Instead of always, I should say can do. Plans can and do change. They don't always change, but plans change sometimes. Then it's like they say the best laid plans of mice and men. Which means plans change. Then I'd say that gives me time to enjoy another cup of pure black magic. Play the theme, please. That's why you testify for the court again, Mr. Seabury. Oh yes, would you mind indulging the court witness? Never actually met the victim. That's gotta be a lie right there. Time I nailed this guy. The victim, Glenn Allen. I don't lie, I never met Glenn Allen. There's some lame guy with that name, though. Wanted to borrow cash from me. Okay, so I probably only had to press this, right? I set up a meeting with guy at my office, tender lender, so it's obvious you knew him. I waited for him, but he ain't never showed. I never been to that trade bin joint. You hear? I see. That all seems perfectly logical. On Backwards Day, he arranged to meet with the victim, but he didn't show. I've heard it's pretty hard to keep appointments when you're dead. Yeah, but he wasn't already dead, though. That's the thing. Very well, you may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. People don't show for appointments all the time, by the way. All the time. Didn't I tell you I got a big deal going down today? I ain't gonna make my bus now. I'm gonna have to take the express train. That bill's going straight to you, right? Again, you can't do that. But okay. I'll just say you can't because it's a video game. Stupid game that, you know, is ridiculous. Alright, let's just see here. I believe it's pressing the second statement. The match is on the 5th statement, actually. His expression also is kind of a giveaway. It's a hint. You can tell he's the most frazzled on this statement, so that's kind of the game trying to help you. As you can see, I've already been punished severely for not using the guide, so I'm not going to make any more mistakes. Here! Matches? What you was talking about? I missed what he first said, sorry. Found them in your opposite tender lender. They're from that restaurant. Again, what's he doing with these anyway? You've never really been to Trade Yen before. What was the book of the restaurant's matches doing on your desk? Why would you have those? You've been snooping around my stuff now too, wise guy. Leave my bell and chain. Ain't no broad control of me. Why would you take those, though? self-respecting mobster would do that, but okay. Order, law witness. I think it's time you started telling us the truth, don't you? Come on, he's about as scary as a gorilla in a cage, dude. Forgive me. I know, Pussycat. I don't go back on what I said. Okay, I was at the joint that day. What? Listen good, alright? Hopefully this is the shortest trial in the history of trials. Might have been there, but I still never met that kid. Then what were you doing there? Whoa. Looks like an order just came in for another testimony. Yeah, just keep testifying until, you know, someone figures something out about this case. I'm this close to proving it was him. Somehow he represented me in court. Even though he was the real murderer. Which, again, makes zero sense, but okay. You met Glenn Elg that day. You did put poison in his coffee. You must have. Again, then what was Maggie's prints doing on the poison and not his? It doesn't say Tigray anywhere on that crucial piece of evidence. Very strange. Alright, anyway, at Tribune, I was supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. The guy was laid out on the table, stiff as concrete. Figured if the place wasn't high already, it was gonna be, so I split. Heard the cop sirens on my way out, and I went straight back to my office. You didn't actually meet with him in the end, then. You saw him, though. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, sir. Hold it. If I wait around here any longer, I ain't even gonna make it to the normal express. No more stupid questions. Ah, no problem. Anytime Tribute presses you on something relevant, I'll see he pays a penalty. Why is anyone going along with this? Godot included. Godot shouldn't be siding with him at all. That's my job. We just need a few more clowns and we'll have a full-on circus. Where's that clown from Justice for All? We need him back, because we can have us a little competition here with all these clowns in the courtroom. Your job is to slam that little hammer of yours and call it guilty of perjury. So do it. Yes, sir. Yeah, do your job for a change. Judge with a special express ain't cheap, right? Just so you know, use pain. It almost sounds like he's speaking English. Isn't the rule of law mean anything around here? At Tribune. What this game is known for. Excruciating amount of dialogue and completely ridiculous plot lines. Completely absurd scenarios. Press 3 and 4. Yeah, how would anyone know?
Hold it!
You saw Glenn Elg's dead body. I guess I did, but I only saw him from behind. He's wearing some raggy bit of cloth called the hat. What time was this? I don't know. You know what winds me up more than anything else in the world? Watches, round watches. I ain't gonna pollute my paws with some sticking henpeckers. What winds you up the second place? Yeah, just ridiculous. Square watches, yeah. This guy for real, look. All I need to know is that something bad was going down in that place. Maybe if the place wasn't hot already, I was gonna be so upset. So you didn't actually set foot inside the restaurant. Tiger's a busy cat. They don't hang around for no one. And again, we don't know he was actually in the restaurant. Usually what we would fall back on is Maggie's testimony, which is miraculously absent. Because Maggie, again, she wasn't unconscious at this time. So where's her testimony? Where is that crucial testimony? Maggie had not yet fallen unconscious, so she would have known it was him. Yeah, the guy who's representing you as your lawyer is the one who you saw in the restaurant that day. It's just so strange, right? So strange. I ain't got time to be caught up in no murder investigation. So when exactly did you pick up the matches? The matches just inside the front door. How would you know that? Our detective friend wound up in trouble with the chef after taking $5 home. Still, how would you know that? But okay. 4 gumshoe. It's almost enough to make a man cry. Alright, so we have to present something. Dungeon imposter. Statement 2 or 3. We have to present the floor plans. Because of the partition, he wouldn't have been able to see. We have to assume that the entrance is that little small rectangle on the right-hand side that's almost not even a complete rectangle. Or actually, no, sorry, it's that semicircle, right? Yeah, it's gotta be that semicircle, that's the entrance. We're supposed to somehow make sense of these floor plans that are, you know, hard to read as it is.
Objection!
Objection, you couldn't have seen him. You're something of a loan collecting pro, aren't you, Mr. T. Gray? No one escapes the tiger's clutches. I'm something of a lie detecting pro. No one escapes the Phoenix's clutches. I think it's time we got something straight. What's this, Tribes? New line of questioning. Relevant questioning. Why does Phoenix never correct him, too? My name is not Trite. It's Phoenix Wright. People aren't calling you Go Bro. Right? Like they're calling you Godot. I don't know. Let's keep going. He doesn't correct anybody. People that call him Nick, people that call him Goofy, people that call him Trite, he doesn't correct anybody. He just lets them keep calling him the wrong name. I guess. He's himself a pushover. Anyway, these are the floor plans of the crime scene. Say you were standing at the entrance. From there, your field of vision would have covered an area something like this. Indeed, the witness would have had a clear view of the victim's seat. Isn't that what I just said? I saw the back of the kid's head. Unfortunately for you, that's not possible. The court would think back, you'll remember that between each of the tables is a tall partition. Again, we would have to remember that because you could not see that in the plans. Right, you can't actually tell that from the plans. The plans are so bad that you basically can't tell. You have to use your imagination because the plans are horrible. That's true, yeah. Look at the plans again. The truth is painfully obvious. Try to make out from these random shapes what people were and were not able to see on that day. And it would have been possible for T. Gray if he took step foot inside the restaurant. We don't know that from his testimony. Those are 2 dots that Phoenix was able to connect, but not from the testimony of T. Gray. Right? T. Gray didn't actually say that. He didn't say that he didn't step foot inside the restaurant. That's what Phoenix said. So yeah, he definitely could have seen it. All he had to do is step past the partition. At which point he would have seen either the side of his head or maybe face, I don't know. The field vision of any customer walking in ends here. So from the entrance of the Tribulations, you could have seen the victim's seat. And you did see the victim that day because you met with him. Objection! Wrong. Have you forgotten the old man's testimony yesterday? Dude, Victor Kudo's testimony is so ridiculous. He was asked to leave court because his testimony didn't stack up. I'm like, how much bologna needs to be in something before you can call it a sandwich? I don't know. Yeah, that screwy Louis, Dewey, and Louis testimony that we pulled multiple holes in. The victim was alone in this table. I don't know why we believe anything coming out of Victor Kudo's mouth, frankly. He can't even tell the difference between B.O., Letta, and Maggie. Like, again, like... That's one of the things that he swore he saw. The victim was alone at the table. Objection! But the defense just proved that point to be moot. Tigray does not look like Glenn Elk, too. I don't know how Victor would make that mistake. They don't even look alike, right? One guy's in a red suit. I mean, I don't even want to explain it. Like, it is, again, beyond ridiculous. Even with extremely poor eyesight, I don't know how someone would make that mistake. But, okay. The defense proved that point to be moot. The victim witness by Mr. Kudo was not Glenn Elk, but a fake. What? When Mr. Kudo falsely testified, the real killer posed as the victim who just killed him and acted out a charade. How would Kudo even make that mistake, though? It's like the more I think about it, the less it actually makes sense. I will do it. This trial has gone on long enough. I'm kidding. Let the obvious question being answered. Who exactly was this real killer who impersonated the victim? You say the killer never went out, and then impersonated his victim in the performance for Victor Kudo. Such a bizarro explanation, right? Like, Glenn Elk also has a snow cap on. What I don't understand is how is it? Like, you just have to go by the game logic, right? The game logic where fairies and unicorns exist, because this man was taken for both this guy and Phoenix. And Phoenix Wright. How's that possible? The bro has a scouter on. I don't know, maybe he stole his clothes. I don't know. Yeah, real criminals, by the way. Fury of Tigray. No one else could have done it. Oh, no witness. Did you kill him? Tell the truth. Now that's good. You think you can pin this on the tiger? Maybe you don't understand. Tiger's king of the jungle. I dare you to say it again. Come on, you got the guts. You can't threaten me, Mr. Tigray. It's the defense. Go ahead and tell the witness your story. Mr. Wright. Again, you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of the dinosaurs. That was what it was called, right? The dinosaurs, those shows, the animatronic dinosaurs from the 90s. Like, it is, you know, I'm the baby, gotta love me. Like, that's what it reminds me of. Because that's how ridiculous this is. Stand up, right? What are you doing? Must be you, old man. You've got the guts. I'll give you that. That's right. Do not leave me to handle this alone. Alright. Perhaps I can end this in person. Mr. Kudo! Or, like, I Love Lucy. Like, it kind of reminds me of that, too. Ah, Ricky! Let's just go back over Miss Kudo's testimony one more time. Miss Kudo, get back in here. We haven't heard enough ridiculous testimony. Come on, we need you back. The old man didn't see just the victim. Oh, no. Serving girl brought the John Machina, but she put something in it. Didn't even see who it was. There's no question about it. She very conspicuously put some white powder in there. Although she has the bow on her head, so maybe they did have a wardrobe change. Violet came in, Tiger came in. They swapped clothes with Maggie and Glenn Elk. While Maggie was unconscious. Yeah, I guess. the victim he saw the real victim or not. That doesn't matter. The fact remains, he saw the accused put the poison in the coffee. He didn't see the face, though. So, yeah. Very impressive, Mr. Goodell. Waiting for my absence to launch your attack. Again, he didn't even see Maggie, though. So that's not even evidence. That's not even reliable testimony. Found your pen at last, right? It was in my pocket. But anyway, Mr. Kudo witnessed 2 people that day. He saw the victim, the supposed Mr. Glenn Elg, and the waitress from behind. And in reality, he saw Tigre and Violet. And we would never know that from Kudo's testimony because his testimony, again, it's such garbage. Like, it's actually not even good testimony. He can't even tell us who he saw. Like, so what good is the testimony? It's not good at all. He was actually asked to leave court because his testimony was so freaking flawed. I think that should immediately write off anything and everything he said in court. Everything should be written off. I don't know why anyone is alluding to his testimony anymore. Because, yeah. The only person we should be talking about is Maggie, who, for some reason, only saw enough for her to be in jail. That's all she really saw. Even though in reality, I think she would at least be able to get herself off without jail time. This Glenna was really the killer in disguise. And surely it's possible the waitress was also part of the show. What, you mean the waitress was an imposter as well? Defendant, Miss Bird, fell unconscious immediately after the incident. Someone used her fainting to hatch an elaborate plan to pin the murder on her. Yeah, just very convenient. She fell unconscious. You never saw Victor Kudo, by the way. Again, that should raise questions in everybody's mind. Why didn't she see Victor Kudo? And for some reason the game never explores that, but yeah, whatever. What was it? Who was the waitress that Mr. Kudo witnessed? So everybody already knows this.
Take that!
It was Violetta. Who is this woman? Her name is Viola Cadavernini. She's an employee of Tender Lender. She was making a big mistake. You know who Violetta's grandfather is? I'd be going home in the armored truck tonight, if you know what I mean. Just get this guy out of here. He's threatening people. Just throw him in cuffs, please. Where was I? Defendant Miss Bird stated the following. Finally, we get to hear from Maggie. When I took the coffee over to the victim's table, it's true there was another customer in the restaurant. He was sort of creepy. Glenn Elg was there, though. There were 3 people in the restaurant then. Glenn Elg, Tiger, and Violetta. And Maggie didn't think any of that was strange. Why didn't she say that? Because she would have been able to remember there were 3 people total. At no point did she ever say that there were 3 people in the restaurant. There would have had to have been. Because she remembers Tiger and Viola. There was at least Viola and Glenn Elg there, or Glenn Elg and Tigre. Some combination of the 2 that Maggie would have had to have seen. So why the heck did she not say anything? I am so frustrated with this game because of that. She had a cackling laugh. I'm glad you're in jail, because you're a freaking dumb character. You're almost as dumb as Ron. There are too many contradictions in this case. Hiding a body in the safe. Yeah. You're that level of stupid. Second man at the table, who nobody but Miss Bird seems to have seen. Again, she saw 3 people then. She saw those 2, and she saw Violetta. Earpiece worn by the victim in his left ear when that eardrum was ruptured. That was seen by Victor Kudo, by the way, not her. Again, she is just very conspicuous lack of evidence. Lack of information in her testimony. she just has big swaths of information missing. That then just miraculously show up in Mr. Kudos. Testimony. The radio show he was supposedly listening to half an hour after it was over. There's only one logical explanation that clears up all these contradictions. The whole incident took place twice. One for real, one for the show. Mr. Figaro Tigre, the only person who could have committed the crime. I think if any lawyer tried explaining it this way in any court of law in real life, it would be completely insane. This wouldn't even happen in real life because the amount of moving bits and pieces that you have to keep track of to coordinate this crime would be absolutely ludicrous. Witness, what have you got to say? That's cute. Sorry. He was alright. I could do with a guy like you around. What do you mean? I'm in on this game. Gonna have to charter a jet to get me to my meeting now, but gonna give you one more thing to think about before I go. Something to think about? You just got it all wrapped up in nice, huh? You just missed out on one important thing. That can't be. I was in the joint that day and I met that kid and I even poisoned him. But you'll never accuse me of poisoning. I couldn't have poisoned him, you see? You really expect us to believe me now, Mr. Figaro? Ah, what a troublemaker. Troublemaker? Go ahead, kiddo, let him have it. Looks like we're going to need one for the road. Except I'm going to need a cup full of vodka this time. Vodka, tequila would be fine too. One more Steven cup of hot testimony. Yeah. Indeed. Witness, you'll explain yourself to the court, even though it's only been the 20th time today. I'll give you one more chance to testify. What happened that day at the trade between yourself and the victim? Ties to the victim. I loaned out cash about $100,000. That day we was due to have a little chat. That kid had hit his payback date, see? He tells me he's got no way to pay up. Why would he meet you in Tribulations and not at Tender Wonder? Tells me he's got no way to pay up. Got to flatten the guy when he started screaming. Yes, I won $500,000. You got lucky, you know. Real lucky. That waitress hadn't done what she'd done, everything would have been over. What are you talking about? I see the principal amount you loaned Mr. Ugg was $50,000. Well, you got the vid to take into account. Interest builds up fast, you know. It's faster than fast. $100,000 is twice as principal. What? Repayment deadline was December 3rd, today question. Yeah, he was one lucky kid. Got that $500,000 just in time. I ain't have no reason to kill the kid. I ain't got no motive, you ain't got no case. Where is it? Ties to the victim. Believe you present something that ties the two together, right? Again, all those lottery tickets are surprisingly missing. Even this ticket was found on Maggie's body somehow. How does Maggie have all this evidence on her? What the frick? Yeah, it's this. Maybe the papers. You can press on the 6th statement. The waitress, you mean? You go to class in the defendant's chair. Who else could have? If she hadn't gotten in the way, things would have been bada bing, bada boom, over and done with. how things would have been. What do you mean things would have been over and done with? He's all, well, they owe what? Talking about the cash. I said to get my $100,000 back. That's all. I'm a businessman. It's all coming together before the waitress got in the way. She had no reason to kill him, though. Again, the motive to this day still has not been established for Maggie. I don't know, again, how she even got sentenced in the first place. As far as I can tell from the witness's testimony, other than recouping his loan, Mr. T had no motive for killing the victim. And that's not motive? In what world? Are we on Jupiter? I think so. I'd say someone not making good on the loan is probably a reason for a mobster to take them out. But what do I know? I'm not a lawyer. The men are testimony reflecting just said Tiger's motive, huh? I was after the $100,000. I had no reason to kill the guy. I had to press the papers, yeah. Interestingly, I could also present this sports paper. Or the papers. The papers make the most sense to me. I also could present MC Bomber. Why didn't he just pay off the debt with this, though? Computer virus made by Glenn Elk, potentially worth millions of dollars. Why wouldn't he just pay it off with that? I don't know. Let's just present the papers. You just intend to get back the $100,000 that Elk owed you, correct? Only the guy cashed. That's my right. Fortunately for Mr. Elk, $100,000 wasn't enough to cover it, was it? Huh? About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? An accident involving a car and a scooter in which a young woman was injured. She was taken to the hospital where she underwent surgery. What MC Escher has to do with this, I don't know. I don't know why Mr. L wouldn't just use that to pay off the debt. I don't know. What I do know is it's Phoenix Wright ace frickin' attorney. Here with another wacky trial. Where did you get all this info? These medical papers document the treatment of the young woman in question. One of these, her operation cost is $1 million. Payment for these expenses was due in December of last year and was paid in full. $1 million. The cost for a song. Someone should sue these HMOs. No one pay a bill like that. The medical association got wind of it. The hospital would end up as dead as a morgue. Mr. Teeger had no choice but to pay because his life depended on it. Why does he look like a gorilla? Order. You say his life depended on this stuff. Dude, it did. Simply because the injured woman was none other than Viola Cataverini. Did you say Cataverini? Bruto Cataverini. Mob boss in charge of all underworld activities in the city. Doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Cataverini. Or your life was in danger unless you paid compensation to the boss, correct? It makes sense. You're desperate to acquire the $1 million Cataverini demanded of you. So desperate, in fact, that you decided to sacrifice Glenn Elk's life to pay your debt. Armstrong made good on his 500. And Glenn Elk also did. Why didn't Glenn Elk again sell the CD that was worth millions of dollars? I don't know. He'd rather just announce that he won the lottery and get money. Makes perfect sense. What do you say to that? Objection! A nice little fairy tale trope. Even if the witness did need $1 million. That doesn't tie into Mr. Elk's murder. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does, dude. Mr. Elk only owed him $100,000 that had no hope to pay it anyway. Cue Phoenix's objection, right? That guy wasn't worth my spit. Yep, there it is. Thank you, Phoenix. I don't think so. In fact, the opposite's true. The opposite. Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would normally be bad for business. But in this case, the very fact that Glenn Elk had no way to repay the money is crucial. That's not true, though, because again, he made the program. Well, you know where you're going with this, Nick? I'm still not sure how or why he wasn't able to pay. Gotta think outside the box, man. In this case, out of the side of the solar system, because that's how far this game's logic goes. Outside the box? Straightforward. Mr. Tiger wasn't after the 100,000 at all. You give a logical conclusion to this theory, Mr. Wright. If you care to share with us, what exactly was Mr. Tigray after? I have to present this, right? Yeah, so you could have also presented MC Bomber, the virus worth millions of dollars, and then I could present the papers. But if you present the papers first, or I assume the sports paper, you could present MC Bomber. How did he even learn about this? When I was a programmer, a highly skilled programmer. Yeah, how would... Number one, how would Tigray know about that? And number two, why didn't Glenn Elk sell it to pay off the debt? Again, this guy he knows too much. That's his problem. He knows too much. He knows about the winning lottery ticket. He knows about MC Bomber. What doesn't he know about? Of course he's going to kill you. He knows everything. That skill was the collateral Mr. Elk put in order to borrow the money. And then you could care to explain how skill can be used as a collateral to secure a loan. Yeah, let's just have a history lesson here, an economics lesson. He had the skill to create a computer virus, and so he did. A virus known as MC Bomber. So stupid, right? The computer virus was one of those doors. Computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the inside of the computer. The computer was one of those doors. Yes, the beard isn't the only part of his honor that is from the Stone Age. I'll explain it to you later, though. Right now, this is the important point. A virus like MC Bomber would be worth several $1 million in the black market. Mr. Tigray, you couldn't have cared less about $100,000, isn't that right? All you cared about was one thing, the virus. The day of the murder, Mr. Tigray's sole intention was to get his hands on this CD. Glenn Elk had no way of paying back the $100,000, and Mr. Tigray knew it. Completely irrelevant that the ticket that he won the lottery. Completely irrelevant. The CD is the only thing worth anything. Why does this not have the fingerprints of Tigray on it? I don't know. Then a miracle happened. The kind that Mr. Tigray would prefer to say never happened. But he can't, and neither can I. The lottery win? Exactly. At the 11th hour, Mr. Elk won $500,000 in the lottery, which left Mr. Tigray with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD. No legitimate way. Here's what illegitimate means. And Glenn Elk is sitting right across from him. How does Glenn Elk not see him sprinkling that in his coffee? That's crazy. He murdered Glenn Elk and then made his next move to frame Maggie Bird for the crime. Mr. Tigray posed as Glenn Elk, while Viola Cataverini played the role of Miss Bird. They reenacted the whole thing in order to establish a witness, even though Armstrong would have been a witness. You know, this seems like way too much effort to go through just for the purpose of establishing a witness. Witness being the one we all heard testify yesterday, Mr. Victor Kudo.
Objection!
Objection! Like I said, Wright, that's crazy. No one can pull off a stunt like that. For starters, there's no way the chef could have been kept in the dark about it.
Objection!
Objection! Mr. Armstrong was in on it from the very beginning. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Kudo? Mr. Armstrong owed the witness money too, $500,000 in fact. He had no choice to go along with Mr. T. Gray's plan. What really sucks is that Maggie had no recollection of any of that. That's what really sucks. If she did, again, this would have been an open and shut case. But because she went unconscious, we have to go through this whole dog and pony show. But not a good show, Spikey. Yeah, true. If you want to stay alive in the loan shark business, you gotta be careful. I'm saying I dressed up like that kid, created a witness, and framed someone. If I did something crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as bright as my shirt. I ain't dumb enough to do something sloppy like that. Not only that, but again, Victor Kudo would have had to have seen T. Gray. How is it he didn't? I agree. Despite your appearance, you're very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to make sure Miss Bird had no way out. Another one, Miss Wright? Interesting. Why don't you fill us all in, Trey? Oh. What was this trick you said Mr. T. Gray performed to frame the accused? Bitch. What an insult to think anyone could be fooled by such a childish material. Consider yourself insulted, John. Mr. T. Gray, you didn't just pose as the victim on the day in question. A month ago in this very court, you posed as me. Again, how is that even possible? What? That's the truth. But the witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright. Very good, Judgy. Very good. You want a biscuit or a cookie? Now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it? One of you is wearing a red tiger suit, and one's wearing blue. Red, blue, red, blue. Okay, I'm done. No doubt it was you standing in here, this very court of mere mortals. Phoenix Wright who put up the most disreputable, shabby defense I've ever seen. Even Republicans don't wear red suits, okay? Alright.
Objection!
Objection. Can you prove that, Grimes? Prove the attorneys who represent the accused here a month ago was this one. Are you prepared to take the stand and testify that was him? Forget about it, yeah? Go and do something like that, not me. You made a mistake, right? It was someone else. Objection! Have you no pride?
Objection!
Objection! This isn't a matter of pride. In case you didn't know, Troy, here in the court, we deal with people's lives. Yeah, where were you in that case? You shouldn't need to prove it, because there was a prosecutor on that case, who could also corroborate the judge's testimony and Dunzo. Or the judge's account, whatever you want to call it. District over. Seriously, the prosecutor of that case was Payne, right? And we get in touch with him somehow? No. Speaking for myself, I'm absolutely convinced. The attorney in question was the witness standing before me now, however. I preside over this court as the judge, with the vested power to hand down verdicts. Someone in my position cannot be swayed by a memory without evidence to support it. No! What are you even talking about? The defense has no further evidence the court will now excuse the witness. Circumstances surrounding Mr. T. Gray is dubious for sure, but not conclusive. There is more evidence against T. Gray than Bird at this point. Even though there is some very critical evidence against Bird, which I don't know why she... While unconscious, that doesn't make sense, but okay. You say you impersonated Glenn Ellis. You say you impersonated you. Then that adds up to a murder charge. You don't have a shred of evidence that the witness poisoned the victim's coffee. Actually true. Technically, we don't even have evidence that Maggie poisoned the coffee. All we have is the poison with her fingerprints on it, but that doesn't prove anything. Even like evidence that is that critical is not proof of anything. Because again, you didn't prove that Maggie put the poison in the coffee. You have to prove that Maggie put the poison in the coffee, and no one did. Sucks to be right. Don't mess with the tiger. You're gonna get mauled. Got that? All you managed to do here was chase him around a bit. I was so close to getting him to admit his own guilt. Ah. Looks like I'll be needing a refill. Yeah, this case has only been going on for like 20 hours. One more piece of evidence. It's the medicine from Detective Gumshoe. Cross-examination is over. You're free to go. Yes, Gumshoe, save the day. Yeah. Did I not call it? What? Detective, here's the medicine. It has Glenn Elk's fingerprints on it. What? It's gonna have Tigra's fingerprints, of course, but I mean, still. In real life, it would just have Glenn Elk's fingerprints. Because again, it was found in the kitchen, probably fell out of her pockets. I don't know how none of that stuff had Tigra's fingerprints on it, or Armstrong's. That's what blows my mind. But okay, Detective Gumshoe. Sorry it took so long. That I stacked everything on this. My badge, the works. Here it is. My heart's counting on 30. What is it, Detective? This is an obvious fellow? Why wouldn't you have already ran the fingerprints on it? The final decisive piece of evidence. What's he doing? Oh, we got the results from the lab. The results? Got the prints, pal. His medicine bottle! You know who the prints belong to? I'm some kind of hack detective, of course I know. Why wouldn't you run them before? Tell us, they're the tigers, right? I knew it. He's dead. Clear crystal all over the bottle. The few of Tigre's paw prints, alright? Found that. What's wrong? You've hardly said a word since Detective got here. He's laid everything on the line for this, Nick. I know, look. Sorry, this is kind of hard to say, but it really doesn't make any difference whose prints are on that bottle now. Why not? You need to produce, at the stage in the trial, is irrefutable evidence that the tiger put poison in Glenn Elk's coffee. Again, you don't even need to prove that. The fact that he touched the medicine, even though his fingerprints, you know, by some mystery, weren't on anything else. He staged this entire reproduction, and yet his fingerprints weren't on anything else. His fingerprints were on the medicine. And if that's true, again, how did you convict Maggie without proof that she put the poison in the coffee? Because again, that evidence doesn't exist. Either. He already admitted that he met the victim. The fact that the prints are on this bottle, it really doesn't make any difference now. No matter how I try, I never have any use. Don't be so hard on yourself. This is the last chance to tell Maggie. I've been working on some useless piece of evidence all the time. I wouldn't say it's useless again, because that puts him inside the restaurant. Alright, I'm a real loser. I'm not breaking news to me, pal. Detective Gumshoe, why is she still wearing the maid outfit? There. You've been working on something for me? Alright, let's do that, Mags. They didn't do it. I'm a detective. We're supposed to be able to boost like that. Why is Maggie even in jail to begin with? What the... Detective Gumshoe, wait. He's gone. Isn't there anything we can do? I wish there was. Don't you work so hard to get that evidence? If only there was some way I could use it. Small bottle put into pocket. Courtroom number 4. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. You ran into a recess so you can prepare the decisive evidence you discovered. Yes. Don't keep us all in suspense. Try to show us. We can assume it's evidence that will actually stand in court, can't we? Think, Felix. Don't let Gumshoe's hard work go to waste. How much more of my time are you going to waste? I ain't been into court. These lawyers should know how to blow things out of proportion. Again, how did you represent anyone? I don't know. I think it would have taken people actually minutes to establish that you're not Felix Wright. Anyway, given the nature of the evidence, it will speak for itself. You'll talk us through it, right, Mr. Wright? You haven't heard enough talk as it is. You know I can't prove anything with new evidence. I'll be back in a corner here. Maybe if he thinks he got me a piece. I'll let his guard down. Don't keep us waiting any longer, right? Present the final decisive piece of evidence in court. We have to present, of course, this bottle. Everything seems to be giving us the game over. This is the defense's final piece of evidence. Is it about the victims? Your Honor, naturally, the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle. Interesting new information has come to light. We have clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. Tigre. Mr. Roy, multiple conclusion are you hoping to drop this new information? Nothing here knows what the bottle contains. Except one man, one person is forged. Directly with the image. My prints are on their hands with the bottle. Is that what you're saying? Well, what's the hell's in there? Phony trial, phony lawyer, phony police, everything's phony. Yeah. The thing about this case has been phony. Perfect excuse for some phony evidence. Tigre, this is the decisive piece of evidence to prove your guilt. It contains victim's urine medicine, Mr. Armstrong's oil, potassium cyanide. Bottle contains potassium cyanide. Potassium cyanide. The poison used to murder Mr. L, Your Honor. The victim's killer used this very bottle. On this bottle, you found your fingerprint. How do you explain that? You're a good clown, you know that. Didn't I just talk about the circus? Ain't never gonna let this stick. You just making us laugh now. Even a cheap glove like that's gonna fool the tiger. Bluff? I can see straight through you, things, right? Take the bottle with cyanide in. No. This is the bottle that we found traces of poison in. Don't mess with the tiger. You're gonna get ripped to shreds. Cyanide bottle was brown. It's made of glass. That cheap piece of trash don't look nothing like it. You're right. They were not the same bottle. And your fingerprints weren't found on the poison bottle. That was convenient. Only Maggie's were. Maggie being unconscious literally the entire time. And having zero memory or recollection of anything that happened. Got him at last. What? Why is everyone gone quiet? I said the bottle. Is this the bottle you're referring to? Yeah, that's it. That's the bottle cyanide was in. You just ain't gonna find the prints on that bottle. Don't let that cozy looking suit fool you people. That lawyer's just playing games. Tell him, sharpshooter. Tell that guy where to go. Oh, that was Tigre, sorry. Still haven't figured it out. Don't you realize what you just said? What I said, what did I just say? You were summoned to this court for the first time earlier today. You really had nothing to do with the murder. You shouldn't have known all the little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in. Just now you slipped up in front of every single person in this courtroom. You described the exact bottle used by the killer to hold the poison. You don't know who you're messing with. I'm the tiger. I control millions of dollars on the black market. You think I'm gonna let some juntos who get better at me? Sure, the last piece of evidence was phony. That's just what you deserve. Phony trial with a phony lawyer. Everything's phony. All played out by you, the biggest phony of all. Okay, let's just get this over with, please. I've had enough. Thanks for the show. Play us off with Kudo's thing, please. And again, how did you... I don't even know. What's going on? It's like a blackout. Well done, Tribes. Good thing you're wearing that mask. Makes you look like a Power Ranger. I saved my 17th cup of coffee just for you. Savor it. While you watch the police restrain your prey. Such a strange expression, right? Okay. You caught Tiger by his toe, but if this one hollers, he won't be like, no. How are things going to be when Mr. Tigger and Mr. Goodall? He's being arrested on suspicion of the murder of McFun, Your Honor. I'd say it's more than a suspicion at this point. We damn near put him on the scene of the crime. Yeah. Managed to rectify very great error. Mr. Bird was found guilty in the absence of a genuine defense attorney, which I'm not even sure how that happened, but okay. Yes, she was. In the absence of genuine evidence. The Tiger made one mistake. Indeed. He very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for that one slip of the tongue. He very meticulously planted all the evidence for us to find. Rio T. Ray is truly frightening criminal. Oh, truly frightening one. Is that defense attorney over there? You don't. Well, I'm now in position to deliver my verdict. Please get this over with. The defendant finds Maggie Bird not guilty. Alright, cool. Took 6 hours, but cool. Court's adjourned. Mr. Wright, I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, Maggie. I was so mad when Mr. Wright landed me in that trouble a couple months ago. Now I feel like I can forgive him. That wasn't me, Maggie. That was the tiger. Come on, does no one know what red and blue is? In the doorway. Gumshoe. Let's be heading out, pal. Wait! Take the gumshoe. Congratulations, Maggie. Thanks. I knew you were innocent all along. Why didn't you say that in your testimony? I was, I'll be heading out now. Wait up, detective. She just ran off. Maggie, why are you being so hard on him? She should be, dude. Both of you were completely useless in the trial. Unconscious girl and clueless detective. Thanks to him that we got the medication bottle. That wasn't even a minute use. Seriously, the one person you should be mad at is yourself. For basically being the ultimate fall guy. Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. Detective Gumshoe was just running around in circles. Yeah. She's ready to forgive him. Can't put in a good word for him. I should help Gumshoe out. Clearly he needs it. Maggie, you know, Detective Gumshoe's really been worried about you through all this. I wanted to believe that, sir, but on that first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge a free pass to lock me up. Didn't have any choice, Maggie. He's a detective. He has to report the facts. Doubted me, that's why. He thought I might have done it. How did you fall unconscious? Gumshoe really cares. I know. I'll give her a little present to celebrate her freedom. It's got to be this lunchbox. Yeah, the lunchbox. So dumb, dude. All right, let's get this over with. I gotta find the game. Hold on.
Take that!
Even though she's already established she hates weenies. But yeah, you can have it anyway. That's a present from Detective Gumshoe. Made with lots of love. He said you lost weight and was worried about you. Detective Gumshoe. I actually really like weenies, you know. Oh, okay. Pretty hungry myself. Maybe you guys can split it. Who knows? Trial dragged on a bit, didn't it? Yeah, you can say that again, Phoenix. It really did. Is it okay if I eat this now? You're free. I don't see why not. How is it, man? It's really good. So the case of the phony is over. The false allegations surrounding Maggie have all been cleared up. And the food is eaten. What'd you freaking do? Missed those last two bucks because they went too fast? It's fine. Finally made it to Turnabout Beginners. We get to hear from Edgeworth again, finally. Edgy boy. What? Turnabout Beginnings, Part 1-1 trial. What? They do it this late in the game? What? The game changer. The game changer. They started with the end in mind. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant gameplay. Wow. Well, I hope you've all enjoyed it. Here we are, an hour and a half later. These just go on and on and on. Thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you for donating. Venmo Storm Show. Thanks for watching. Everything's appreciated. All right. We all have a good